Okay, if you're a cat owner, I'm pretty sure you've experienced this. You find a little gift from your furry friend, and it's a little confusing, maybe a little gross, but it turns out it's also surprisingly complex. So today, we are going to dive into why your cat is so insistent on sharing its latest prize with you. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's first thing in the morning, you're barely awake, and there it is. Maybe it's their favorite toy mouse, all soggy, sitting right by your head. Or maybe it's something a little more lifelike. It's a classic cat owner moment, and it always leaves us wondering the same thing. Why? Why do they do this? And look, when we talk about gifts, it's not always the grisly stuff. It could be their favorite crinkle ball, a random bottle cap, or hey, even one of your own socks dragged out of the laundry. So it doesn't matter if your cat is a mighty outdoor hunter or a strictly indoor couch potato, this behavior is universal. And we're about to figure out what it all means. To really get what's going on with this little delivery service, we've got to look deep, deep inside the mind of a cat. We're talking about thousands of years of evolution here. And trust me, a comfy sofa and a bottomless food bowl aren't going to erase that. Okay, so here is the absolute most important thing to understand. A cat's instinct to hunt has literally nothing to do with being hungry. It's a hardwired biological program. Think of it like software that's always running in the background. Even if their tummy is completely full, that hunting program is active and ready to go. So, the hunt happens. But why bring the evidence to your living room? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. Safety. Out in the wild, if you stop to eat your meal out in the open, you're taking a huge risk. Some bigger predator could just swoop in and steal it. Your home? That's your cat's ultimate safe zone. It's their den. So they're bringing their prize back to the one place where they know they can relax and enjoy it in peace. And just how much hunting are we talking about? Well, a fascinating study called the Kitty Cam Project put tiny little cameras on pet cats to see what they were up to. And what they found was that only about 23% of what they catch is ever actually brought home. The rest, they either eat it right there or just leave it behind. So just think about that. For every one gift you see, there are about 3 others you never even knew happened. All right, let's move on to our next theory. And honestly, this one is pretty incredible. What if this isn't just about pure instinct? What if it's personal? What if your cat thinks you need some help and is trying to teach you something? You see, researchers have watched mother cats, and they have a very specific 4-step plan for teaching their kittens how to hunt. It's like a masterclass in survival. First, they bring home dead prey to say, hey, look, this is food. Then they'll bring home injured prey to show them how the kill is done. After that, they bring live prey for the kittens to practice on. And finally, for graduation, they take the kids out on a real hunt. It's this incredibly smart, step-by-step process. So here's the kicker. A lot of cat experts believe your cat is running that exact same playbook on you. Think about it. They watch you. You just walk to the fridge and food magically appears. You never go out and hunt. You never catch anything. From their point of view, you are a lovable but utterly hopeless hunter. You're a member of their family who would probably starve without their help. So these gifts are their genuine, if maybe slightly insulting, attempt to teach you the skills you need to survive. But there's another layer to this whole thing. It's less about being a teacher and more about just being part of the community. It's about what it means to be family, or in the cat world, a colony. This gets us to the social part of it all. Cats are actually really social animals. In the wild, they form these complex groups, and within those groups, sharing resources is a huge deal. It's how they keep the family bonds strong. So when your cat brings you their successful hunt, they're basically adding to the family pantry. They're sharing a super valuable resource with you to show that you're part of the inner circle. And for all of you out there with indoor-only cats, this right here is your big aha moment. When your cat hunts a little toy mouse, stalks a wadded-up piece of paper, and then proudly marches over to you meowing its head off, in their brain, the exact same thing is happening. The neurological event is identical. They're completing that whole hunt, capture, and share with family sequence, just with a much cleaner and, let's be honest, much less horrifying substitute. Okay, so I think we've got a much better handle on the why now, but that brings us to the really big question. What on earth are we supposed to do when we find one of these gifts? Let's get into the practical side of things. First things first, and this is really, really important. Never, ever punish your cat for this. They just can't connect the punishment to something they did maybe an hour ago. And honestly, any big reaction, whether you're screaming or yelling, good kitty. It's still attention. And attention can actually make them do it more. The best thing you can do is just be neutral. Calmly acknowledge it, and then when they're not looking, quietly get rid of it. But reacting is one thing. Being proactive is even better, and we have some amazing science on this. A big study from the University of Exeter found 2 super effective ways to manage this. Get this, just 5 to 10 minutes of interactive playtime every day, with a wand toy that acts like prey, that reduced the number of gifts by 25%. And switching to a high-quality, high-meat diet, that cut it down by a massive 36%. You're basically satisfying that instinct so they don't feel the need to go out and do it for real. And here's another brilliant little pro tip from that same research. After you have a really good play session where your cat gets to stalk, chase, and pounce, give them a small toy mouse. This lets them complete that final super important step of the whole hunt, the part where they get to carry the prize. It completely satisfies that deep down instinct in a really safe and positive way. So let's wrap all of this up. I know. Our first reaction might be to cringe a little bit. But it's so worth it to just take a second and reframe what's really going on here. Because this behavior, whether it's a mouse or a sock, it's a message. So what's the final verdict? Is it a hunting lesson from a very concerned teacher, a generous contribution to the family food supply, or just a simple primal instinct playing out? Well, the truth is, it's probably a beautiful, complicated mix of all 3. It's this fascinating behavior that really just points to one simple truth. In your cat's world, you are family, and that's a pretty incredible compliment. Thanks for tuning in.